We never felt like, all right, we've reached, we've implemented and we've reached the point of no return and we don't need any more help. I mean, we'd be foolish to think we didn't continually evolve and need more help in different stages. So my name is Myles Laroux. I am a partner here at Highland Wealth, also an advisor, meaning client facing totally. I'm also accountable for the marketing aspects of the firm. Look at you here, won't get you there type of thing. So I think the cool thing that we saw from Exit Momentum is that they're always looking for new strategies, new ideas, or new partnerships. So being able to link with other guys who are doing something across the country in different industries, I think is returned to us valuable info as well. And then we got to a place where we're just we don't want to be in one box. We love the US. We certainly love the book traction. Still send that out to clients and that sort of thing. But there are phases of business cycles and life cycles where it makes sense and where it necessarily maybe didn't. So I think not being in this kind of cookie cutter plan like that it took to start, which we really needed. We needed structure, we needed all this accountability, and we still have all that. But we've been able to build off that with various systems. I think it's pretty unique. I don't know that most coaches are doing that or looking for other opportunities. So I think that's been valuable. I think to know how you're going to grow, you have to know where you're going to go. Meaning, it'd be impossible for us to expand to a different city or a different market or a different, line where we don't even know why we're growing. I mean, how do you get people to rally behind an idea that, we're just going to stay the same, but let's try this out? Like, that doesn't really get people excited. And so, ultimately, having defined goals in mind, whether that was our BHAG, our 10-year vision back in the end of 2019, where we said, have this number of assets under management, and that scared us. And now we're actually going to hit that a few years early, which is mind blowing. And now reinventing ourselves in a way of like, well, let's think bigger. Where else could we go? And so being able to have that defined and have, sort of a rally cry that everybody on the team knows what we're working towards, that translates into when we first hire somebody. Like, hey, here's what you're joining. Here's the team that we built. Here's where we're headed. And I think that many young people today and clients, like I'll get to how this relates to clients for sure, but I think young people that come on board as we grow, if you have the option of, hey, a stagnant place with no real career trajectory, or a place that's growing and thriving is really green and that like the sky is the limit, literally, which one are you going to choose? And so we say this often when we're interviewing people, like they need Highland Wealth more than Highland Wealth needs them because of what we've been able to build and create. And a big part of that is the growth strategy. So like, hey, if you do X, Y, Z over 5 years, this is what you're going to make. This is, how we're going to help you grow and get there. On the client side, I think this story is really compelling because our DNA is so different than the typical advisor firm or team, because it generally consists of one solo advisor, one business owner, and then one or two staff people. And there's no real growth or succession plan there. So for clients, I think that our level of growth and our core values of fun and all the things that we do is attractive to them. It's like, hey, I want to be a part of that. And so that's, helped play into the success too, is communicating that story to clients of like, if one of us goes down or something happens, we got 8 advisors on the team, several people know where your plan is at, how your money is being looked at and watched and taken care of. So kind of twofold, where it plays into the employee or the journey of somebody who's joined the team, and also where it plays into the journey of clients deciding to hire us. We say often, like, what gets measured gets done. So we have a scorecard that we've defined from our sales team to our operations team to our marketing team to our leadership team, and in that it's very black and white, right? So we're either getting the things done that we said were important to us, whether that's to-dos, rocks, or data, metrics that we're tracking, or not. And so we lean on that system heavily to be able to just create growth opportunities for people. So it's like, hey, if you're not hitting this number for several weeks in a row, that's an issue. We have not just a platform or avenue to talk about it in our weekly meetings, but we also have like a duty to call it out and drop it down. We say, dive into what's happening. And that level of accountability is rare. So having a clear rubric or good guidelines on that, I think helps us ultimately make people decisions. The flip of the coin when you hire somebody. Like you ask anybody, I mean, I've talked to hiring managers that are hiring hundreds of people a year to the guy that, has a one-man shop and he's just trying to find the right person to pass the business on. And it's like all along the spectrum, nobody knows, there's no foolproof way to do hiring. You kind of just got to take a risk on people at some level and see how they work out. But we have mitigated that risk a lot to where we have a great avatar, we have a good understanding of who it is that joins our team. But then from day one, we have a 90-day stretch of a review where it's really clear what the expectations are. And if we're not as excited about keeping you after 90 days as we were when we hired you, then it's not a fit. And it's not emotional, it's really black and white. And so the system allows us to set those guardrails and then just be accountable to the things that people say they're going to do. Leading people is realizing that not everybody's wired like me. So learning that I have to lead individuals in different ways. Also learning from the leadership within our firm is of how much of an example they set and how valuable that is to the team. So not just saying what I need people to do, but really doing what I need to and expect people to do. And so that leading by example, I think, has brought risen all boats, if you will. And that's from interns to other partners, seeing guys get after it when they just mail it in. And so I think that that's a big part of it. Man, there are times where I'm like working through something or dealing with things, and what's cool about technology today is I have the notes from our very first session still. And when I go to another quarterly or annual, I'm just swiping to the next page. So I could go in the middle of that and go all the way back to our issues list that we're working on. And sometimes it's like, dang, we're working on the same thing, but at a 10th degree deeper. It's like it was, what's our process? Now it's like, how do we, refine this one little inkling of a process? So in that, I would say having just a cool journey that I can look back at and see different milestones or iterations of, okay, this made sense. This is what we're working on as a team. This is what I was working on as an individual. And even looking at like wins, celebrating wins every time we get together. Where else do you do that? Where else do you have that forum to just, kind of unabashedly brag on yourself and your team with no strings attached or no judgment? Like everybody wants everybody to win in the room. So that's been certainly valuable. And then I guess from a leadership standpoint too, I'd say sometimes getting kind of voluntold to do things instead of just like, Myles, would you like to do this? Or maybe this would be a fit. It's like, hey, we need this done. You either got to do it and then, burn the boats. And so we've had those scenarios for sure over the years, which just has pushed me to grow and stretch. So I think exit momentum has played a hand in all those decisions. Understanding how our business ticks helps me communicate and understand how clients' businesses tick. And so it's funny, you think everybody who has a successful business has it all figured out, but when you peek back the curtain, you'll certainly know this, usually the house is on fire in some area. They're just really great at making money. And so maybe they're not running a successful business, maybe they're just turning a great profit, which is certainly an important aspect of a business. But having the tools and the arsenal, it's bigger than just managing money or doing risk management or building a financial plan, holding you to your goals. It's like, what financial advisor is communicating to a business owner with authority on here's what works? Because you could talk the talk, but we've actually done the heavy lifting. We've actually done the work as a team, as an organization, as leadership. And so it certainly gives you, it might be one or two ideas of, that you just uncover. You don't even go in the meeting planning that, it just comes up in conversation, but you have this experience of 4 years of being battle tested, I believe. Like it's real work that we do in these quarterlies, it's real work that we're doing. And it's expensive. It's an expensive day to take all of our producers out of the business and sit and, dive in. And so, but it's valuable and it's worth it. Like the ROI on these hourly, quarterly, daily sessions have been great. So definitely certainly helps communicate to those business owners. Yeah, for us, we're constantly growing and evolving, and with that comes new challenges. We're adding new people. We're certainly in a growth phase of business. So I think that's what keeps us coming back for more is the idea of new growth opportunities, new personalities on the team, new conflicts and new solutions. So having a voice in the room that's still a third party, just unbiased, has been really valuable. Yeah, Cullen is a fit because he's been there from the beginning. I think that there's a shared history of understanding what we've been through and the growth we've had, and we've found outside counsel that's industry specific. That maybe knows more, quote unquote, about managing money, and we're always going to invest in those resources. But as far as running the business, growing the business, auditing the business, Cullen has just been there from day one, and it's we've never left that session thinking like, why are we still doing this, or is this work? We're always like, we want more. And so I think the shared history plays into it a big part. And then knowing that that you trust us with your resources too, and so there's this shared. You can peek behind the curtain from your perspective of like, hey, here's how it feels. Like we get a great client perspective from you also. I think that helps too.